Good morning, everyone. So let's be blunt. Aquila Coffee is bleeding. We've built a beautiful brand, but our premium soul is killing our mass market body. So currently, it costs 8 pesos in logistics alone to deliver a sachet we only sell for 6 pesos. So we aren't running a business right now, we're running a charity for coffee drinkers. So we're losing 2 pesos on every single sachet before we even flip the lights on in the factory. So this isn't just a tweak situation, it's a total rebuild situation. So to win, we have to change our DNA. So we've spent years being responsive, flying beans across islands to ensure freshness, but the 3-in-1 market doesn't care about a 48-hour roast date. They care about that 6 peso price point and finding us on the shelf every single morning. So we are moving the lever from high response to ruthless efficiency. So this means that we should shift our focus from speed at any cost to scale at lowest cost. So we're not just selling coffee anymore, we're managing a high volume pipeline. So why is the current model failing? Because we're treating instant coffee like fan jewelry. We're using air freight to Cebu and Davao and hiring motorcycle couriers for last mile delivery. So that works for a 500 peso bag of whole beans. But it's financial suicide for a sachet in a wet market. So if we're trying to win a marathon while wearing heavy boots. So we need to strip it down, get lean, and stop paying premium prices for a commodity journey. So we all know the reality of doing business here in the Philippines. So we are a nation of islands and Mother Nature does not always cooperate. So our just-in-time model is a disaster here because one typhoon at the Matnog airport can strand our entire Visayas supply for a week. When the Roro ferries stop, our revenue stops. But our costs, they don't. So we've been fighting the geography of this country instead of building a supply chain that actually respects it. So for our first move, we're breaking the Cavite bottleneck. So we are establishing regional distribution centers in Cebu and Davao. So I know adding facilities sounds like spending more, but it's actually a massive saving. So by holding stock closer to the customer, we eliminate the need for emergency air shipments. So we're trading a bit of fixed rent for a massive drop in variable shipping costs. So we need to be local to say low cost. So efficiency usually means low inventory. But in the Philippines, that's a trap. So for Aguila 3-in-1, I'm actually proposing we increase our inventory levels. So we need a typhoon buffer, like 21 days of safety stock sitting in our regional hubs. Why? Because being out of stock is more expensive than holding extra boxes. So if a storm hits, our competitors' shelves will be empty but Aguila will still be there. So in this market, availability is the ultimate efficiency. So we are grounding the planes. From now on, Aguila moves by sea. So we're shifting to go and the rents are shipping for long haul and large scale trucking for the local legs. Yes, it takes 3 days instead of 3 hours, but the cost per sachet drops by 85%. So we will manage the longer lead times through smarter planning, not by throwing money at a pilot. So we are moving mountains of coffee, not envelopes. Okay, for sourcing, we do love our farmers in the Cordilleras, but they can't provide the millions of tons we need for this pivot. So we're shifting our sourcing to bulk Robusta, leveraging large-scale Mindanao farms, and supplementing with Vietnam imports. So this gives us the price stability and, more importantly, consistency. So to compete with these giants, we need a supply chain that never runs dry and a bean that fits a 6 peso budget without breaking the bank. So how do we know what's happening in those 500,000 sari-sari stores? So we actually need to stop guessing. So we're integrating our data with major distributors like partners like Pure Gold and SM. So by seeing their inventory levels in real time, we can stop the bullwhip effect. So no more overproducing in Cavite while Davao is starving for stock. So we are using the information to replace guesswork. so which keeps our waste low and cash flow tight. Okay, so for pricing, our pricing is now everyday low price. So we are fully embracing DP culture, selling in 10 sachet strings. So this isn't just a marketing gimmick, it is a production strategy. So our machines will run at maximum speed, producing at a standardized product that fits the daily budget of the average Filipino worker. So we're moving from exclusive to essential, and our production lines are being calibrated for that high speed reality. Okay, so let's be honest about the trade off. So we are losing that roasted this morning aroma that defined our brand. So we're moving to a product formulated for a 6-month shelf life. So the coffee snobs might complain, but the millions of Filipinos who need a reliable caffeine kick to start their 5 a.m. commute will thank us. So we're trading niche prestige for national presence. It's a tough pill, but it's the only way to scale. So here's the bottom line. So this plan takes our logistics cost from a back-breaking 8 peso down to just 1 peso and 50 cents. So that 6 peso sachet, it finally makes sense. So we go from losing money on every sale to having a healthy margin that can fund our marketing, our people, and of course our future. So we aren't just saving the company, we're finally making it profitable. So this new architecture makes us stormproof. So when the next big typhoon hits, and it will, our regional hubs mean we don't have to wait for Manila to send help. Our Davao hub serves Mindanao, our Cebu hub serves Visayas, so we become the most reliable brand in the country because we plan for the worst case scenario, and of course, resilience is a competitive advantage that our customers will remember. So for our competitive edge, where we beat these global giants. So Nestle and Coffee are giants, but they can be slow. So by building a supply chain specifically for the Philippine archipelago, we can be more agile than the global players. So we know these islands, so we know these ports, and we know these sari-sari stores. So this restructuring doesn't just let us compete, it lets us win by being the most efficient local player in the coffee field. So the Tingy transition is ready. So we have the plan, we have the regional partners lined up, and we have the math to back it up. So I'm asking for the board's approval to begin the Cebu RDC rollout next month. So let's stop being a boutique roaster that's losing money and start being the coffee that fuels this nation. So let's bring Aguila to every street corner in the Philippines.